As you can see by the mess here, we're still chipping away at this crusty bird. Now, I was getting ready to start prepping the backside of the firewall to put a coat of paint on it. That way I don't have to crawl underneath the cowl section when I weld that in. Well, in the process of wire brushing it, we found a couple more rust holes. As I cleaned it from the backside, that sucker just popped up right there. And there's another one right there. Well, the cutoff section that I purchased is definitely coming in clutch because I got a firewall patch panel now. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at there. As you can see, you get the gist of it. We're going to cut and butt that in, clean it up, and then get back on track to putting some paint on the back side of this. That way I'm not crawling under all this to coat it up. As I've said many times before, this car is definitely really rough and it probably should have been best to let it go. But where's the fun in that? I like a challenge and I do plan on bringing this back, and I'm trying to do it as budget friendly as possible by, obviously, as you can see, front cutoff section, and we're going to do it right though. The old section is now cut out. Patch panel is in place. My gap is a little tight, but my idea here is I'm going to clamp it in place. I'm going to do my spot welds. Then I'm going to take a cutoff wheel and run it across the edge, and that's going to give me a good gap to weld on. Up here, I welded in a piece of metal to fill up that spot that ripped off. Came out pretty good. Got that prepped in there. I hit that with some asphalt. Tomorrow we'll give it a coat of paint. Same thing with the patch panel. It's on top of the roof right there. I asphalt the back side of that. And I'm going to give that 24 hours as well. Put a coat of paint. We're going to burn that in and this in tomorrow. Get this cut out of here. All right, well, let me show you guys real quick how I go about treating the backside of the panel with asphalt. I'm going to treat this one real quick for demonstration purpose. Now, I can do this after I weld it on the car, but this little area right here, I cannot get to that. Now, this should be fine if I were to hit it with some weld-through primer, but it doesn't hurt to treat it. Now, this is asphalt. This is an older container. I've had this for a couple years now. I think they came out with a new style jug, but it's the same nonetheless. Now, this is pretty much a phosphatizer, and it converts the rust into a black oxide. So I got some here in a little quart. Take a little chip brush. Now it says you can just, put a thin layer on and leave it. But I like to take a maroon scuff pad. I'll brush this on. Take a maroon scuff pad and I'll work it in. And I'll do that maybe 2 or 3 times. Actually remove a lot of this black here. You'll see that. But I'll just grab my scuff pad and I'll start working it in. Well, it's the next day. It hasn't been 24 hours. It's been about 18, but as you can see, it looks good in there. Now it's time to start getting that coated. I'm currently trying to get the garage up to temperature. We're at about 40. And as you can see, I got my self-etching primer and my rust converter in front of the torpedo heating up. Here are the patch panels. Again, you can see how that rust turned black from the asphalt. Here's the other one. So we're going to get these cleaned up. We're going to get the back side of this one coated with some weld-through primer. This one, I'm just going to spray probably half of it. Spray the half right here. That's going to overlap that area. But I'm stuck waiting on the paint to warm up, and I'll bring you guys back when I got a good coat in there and we're ready to burn it in. Now we got to spray with self-etching primer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spray the rest of the area with this rust converter. All inside, we want to get everything coated. And I also went ahead and I prepped this area for the cowl panel, and that's already set to go. As you can see, I'm using a little halogen lamp, kind of like a heat source to help dry my paint. But I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get this painted all inside of here. You get the gist of it. It's a little hard to do with one hand in this tight area, but I'm going to get that coated. We're going to put about 2 coats of this on and let that dry up, and then we'll be ready to burn the patch in there. So while I wait for the paint on that cowl shoulder to dry, I'm going to get started on the firewall patch. Now, I got it pretty close, but there is some little adjustments I do need to make. Let's see what we got to do here. All right, as you can see, we got the first patch burned in. It's looking good. I just got to dress those welds up. There's the back side. Now, I did come in and I touched a couple spots. I shined my light from this end. Wherever I seen a couple pinholes, I hit it from the back side. But we'll dress that on both sides in and out. Now, the next patch, I got clamped in place. And it's a rough fit. I didn't take too much time, going for perfection, because I'll just manipulate it into place as I go. All right, so the second patch is done. It didn't come out as nice as the other. I had quite a big gap there. I should have made a little sliver of metal, but I just filled it with weld. There it is, all dressed up, all done. Welds came out really good, nice and smooth. There's one little spot in there I got to do a little bit more grinding on. I got to find something that's going to fit into that contour correctly. I got to dig out one of my burrs. I'm probably going to use that inside as well. Now, I ground all these flat because the outer cowl shoulder butts up against there. Same here. Upper and lower cowl sits there. These in here, I just left meat on the bone. You'll never see it. There's no need to grind that flush. Well, that's pretty much it for me today. I'm going to wrap it up here. We're making progress. It's slow, but we're getting somewhere. Those patches are done over there now. We're going to get the dash in here. Then we can get the cowl section in and finally move on up and get this area done. I did start on it. I cut out the roof brace, but this needs to be patched here, and I don't want to do it in 2 pieces. I'd rather do it in 1 piece. So I want to get the cowl in so I can remove my X brace, make this patch here, and then proceed on to doing the roof brace. But like I said, that's it for me tonight, guys. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.